What if I tell you that you can open your hip blockage yourself in just 3 super easy steps? Stay tuned and join in right away, because I will now show you how you can succeed, even if you are a total beginner. And in the end, you'll receive a bonus self-love exercise that you can easily do while resting. So you can understand a little bit what the exercises are actually for. Here in the front are large muscles, especially the hip flexors, and in the back is the buttocks. Giant muscle, which is often tense, on the inside, on the outside, enough possibilities for blockages to occur and mobility to be restricted. And now we're going to tackle it. Ina is back. Ina demonstrates the exercise. I invited her in, and you should join in directly. We start with the buttocks because that is also important for this, as follows. You sit approximately in the middle of the chair so that you have a secure seat, but at the same time we leave a bit of room for the legs, and we show for the right side. If you have the problem on the left side, then you simply turn the whole thing around. On. That's not bad if that's the case for you, but then it would mean you stay in the position. Or you try to go a little higher, then you would stay here. Or you go over the knee, and if that barely succeeds, then you keep the leg quite straight. If you notice you still have space, then raise your knee a little higher and simply bend your leg, and then you are actually in the position you should try to achieve as the basic position. No matter where you start now, right hand on the right knee, left hand on the right ankle, and now you are well adjusted. But as I said, the leg can also be lower down. And now you arch your back and continue walking forward with your back arched. And that is not easy to control. And that's why you simply position, or rather you want to position your belly button forward. When the belly button moves forward, you will immediately feel a strong stretching in the right buttock. And then you search by bending forward. You go a little to the left with your torso and a little to the right and feel in where it pulls the most. And where it pulls the most, in that position you keep going forward, but keep your back straight so that you only bend at the hip so that all the stretching goes to the buttocks and not further up into the back. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and now try to stretch this tense bundle of muscles in the back nice and long. The buttocks are usually tense because the hip flexor is too short, and the buttocks are the antagonist, and when the hip flexor always pulls forward, the buttocks must always pull against it, and therefore are in a constant cramp. Buttocks and lower back, they feel the same way, whenever sitting is not balanced. Breathe in nicely and breathe out again. Also feel free to write a comment where it pulls the most for you, whether you go left, right, or stay straight. Take a deep breath, exhale, and a little further forward, and now we incorporate strength training. You hold on tight to your right leg, you press, point number 1, with your right foot against your left knee, and number 2, you want to go back with your torso, but you hold on tight, and that's why it doesn't work. Do you notice? If it doesn't work perfectly yet, do as much as you can. Relax again and go a little further in. And then again, you press with your leg against your knee and want to move back with your torso. Hold on tight, let go loosely, and go further in. That was exercise number 1. The second exercise for the hip flexor in standing position. Take the side that you are stretching, so for us it would now be the right side, take a step back, and now it's best to even reach deep down to the right buttock with your right hand. And with the left hand on the belly button, and then you push your right side forward and go back with the belly button. Feel inside, and then you will notice that you are here on the inside of the thigh. No, not pointing, you have to stretch. I am showing. Stay nicely focused in the stretch, belly button back, so that this stretching pain arises here. Keep going further in and breathe deeply. Deep in, deep out, breathe in deeply, keep going. But do not overextend in the back, but overextend in the hip. Always only go back with the belly button. So you don't need to hyperextend your trunk backwards. Instead, you keep your trunk straight and only move your groin forward on one side. And now we're also doing strength training here. If it works, you do it already. If not, you save it for later. Pull the right foot forward. Because you're standing on it, it's not possible. Now you tense exactly what is being stretched. Let go again and continue backwards. And again, the right foot forward, relaxed again and further back. And slowly out again. If you click here, you will find my favorite exercises for the hip. You can also do them when you have the opportunity. And now comes step 3, and now we combine the first 2 steps. And here's how. Straighten your legs and take your right leg under your left knee and create a 90-degree angle here. Right knee at 90 degrees. And you bring your left leg as far back as possible and then go back as vertically as possible with your torso. Yes, if you can't get in there so well, it may be that you have to stay very far on the side, then you work your way up from this side later on. If you can't get in at all because the leg doesn't go back at all because the hip flexor is too short, and also here the angle doesn't work, then you can go ahead and position the lower leg at a 45-degree angle, which is initially easier. Yes, go into a position that you can manage reasonably well and try, if possible, to bring the back foot onto the top of the foot. If it doesn't work, not a problem. In 2 or 3 weeks, you'll have it ready. So, and now we stretch increasingly inward, and stretching inward means that the torso becomes more upright. Yes. Always keep standing straight. Where are you feeling it now, Ina?
Here.
Yes, just describe. Don't show, you need your hands to practice. Describe simply. Buttocks likely.
I don't even notice it. I only feel it on the left side.
Left side hip flexor, right? So if the buttocks are very, very tight, you feel it in the buttocks. If the hip flexor is very, very tight, you feel it on the left side in the groin, right? Often it is a combination of both. But the great thing about the exercise is that you practice 2 things in one exercise. You are now exercising the right glute and the left hip flexor. We'll do it on the other side right away, and then you'll notice how liberating that is. This 3rd step is really a liberation step, right? And now we also incorporate our strength training here. The right foot presses against the ground and the left knee presses against the ground. I'm trying to steer that. Right foot presses, left knee presses. And relax. And continue to go up with the torso so that ultimately the goal is that you are straight when seen from the front and that you are straight when seen from the side. Because then you have the good distribution of stretching around the hip, so to speak. And again, the right foot presses against the ground, the left foot arch presses against the ground. Tighten properly, even tighter, even tighter. This is the strength training that we like, which does not shorten. And relax again and come up again with the torso. That was the exercise for one side. And now we do the same on the other side. You now place your left leg, your left lower leg, and the right knee 90 degrees and fold the right leg over. Yes. Get started right away. Yes. And you don't need to go down as deep as Ina just showed. That would be a different exercise, yes. So stay calm and keep reasonably upright. Remember, the angle, if it doesn't work at all, can also be a bit flatter. The leg at the back, it may be that it protrudes a little to the side. It may be that you are still very far over here because you are not coming straight yet. So don't be confused if your position doesn't look like Ina's. Now stretch first, come more upright. Yes, Ina too, exactly. And then it pulls more and more in the right groin, probably, right? Exactly, the hip flexor, it's still a bit tough. You can still work on that. Always keep standing upright, yes. Inhale, deep in, deep out, while exhaling, go further into the stretch, because the body always relaxes during exhalation. Don't forget to smile. And keep going further in, bit by bit, keep going further in, yes. If your arms are too short to push yourself up, maybe go on your knuckles or go on your fingertips. That is indeed another good finger training. Yes, the exercises are also partially a type of strength training for specific areas that you need for practice, but it always makes the body fitter, yes. And now we start our strength training. Now the left foot presses firmly against the ground, the right knee firmly against the ground, as if you wanted to lift yourself up with your own strength. Start floating, press, 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 release, and continue into the stretch. Go further in. How is it going at home? Is it going okay? Even if you lie the other way around? Yes, somehow not really sorted out like Ina does it here. No problem at all. Always try to do your best. Then you will always make a little progress. And again, the left foot presses, the right knee presses really tight, even tighter. Let go and continue stretching, yes. That was the same on the other side. Now let's move on to your bonus exercises for our SI joint, which also takes good care of the hip, yes. You lie on it with your buttocks, and now you have a double effect. You have the overextension effect for the hip flexor, and at the same time you have an osteopressure effect. A pressure effect on the receptors that relaxes your brain and muscles together is a brilliant effect, almost incidentally, watching TV, reading, listening to music, whatever. As I said, write a comment on how your hip felt after the exercises. If you click up here, you will come to another video, and if you subscribe down here, you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss any videos with Ina and me.